I'm really excited. You probably can't hear the smile on my face. I hope that it's coming through the microphone because I have AJ McLean with me here, and I'm really excited because, I love you so much.
Thank you.
So
You.
welcome to the Vibe.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is awesome.
And it's even better. I don't know if it's better or whatever, but we're here because we're celebrating a release of a new song from you.
Yes,
It's
yes,
called Love Song Love. And first of all, I just want to say that I think it's really cool because obviously the Backstreet Boys, you guys are all still together, like as a band, as a group. And you are releasing your solo music. And I think it's really cool that you can be in your band, also do solo stuff and do your own things because I think, you're all individuals.
yes.
And so it's cool and important that you can express yourselves individually, but also still keep your group together.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, number one priority is always going to be the group. I mean, that is who we are. That's who we are all best known from, even as individuals. But, during this break, you could say, I've never really on a global side released solo music. I mean, there's been stuff that was released in Asia or just in Europe. A little bit when I was dabbling in the country world for a moment, there was a little bit there. But this to me, I will for always say that this is my first go around really doing a solo project in its entirety. Yeah, I mean, look, this has been a great time for me to really focus on myself and find the path that I want to be on and to be comfortable with who I am and to finally express myself through music and creatively, visually. You're going to see me now going all in on my physical appearance. You may see me wearing dresses from time to time.
We will touch on that in a little bit because I do want to talk about the music video and the fashion and your choices in all of that. But I do want to kind of hone in on, Love Song Love and why that was the song that you wanted to push out first in terms of solo stuff for you.
When I first heard the record, it just hearing it put a smile on my face. And that's number one, something that we all need more of right now is love and peace.
It did the same thing for me too. So
great. That's the first thing that drew me to the song. And then listening to the context of what the song is talking about, everybody wants to find that love song love, that like romantic, awesome, movie love that, doesn't matter if you're transgender, if you're part of the LGBT community, if you are totally straight, even if you're single, loving yourself. This song is to me about loving yourself and loving the one you're with and to just be who you are. And to, again, it's a feel good record. I love this record so much. And I think everyone is going to just love it,
I like to hear you say that because I think I too have that kind of mindset in terms of love. Like I have a very high standard or a high caliber for, the love in my life because I also have a high standard for the love I give myself. Yep. And I think people sometimes think like, oh, Tanya, you're so, hopeless romantic. You're so pie in the sky. But I'm like, no, like this is the love I give for myself. So I have a high standard for the love that I'm going to give to my partner as well. Like I think it goes hand in hand and I create that.
It does. I mean, look, if you can't, it's the age old saying, if you can't love yourself, how can you love someone else?
Yeah.
Because you truly can't give someone 100% if you don't love yourself 100%. A very wise person told me one day that in relationships, it's not 50-50. It's 100 and 100. And even if that's the relationship you have with yourself, you got to give yourself 100%. And then you can give that to someone else. And even in the video talking about loving your neighbor, loving yourself, being comfortable with who you are. And again, spreading so much love and tolerance, acceptance, and hopefully teaching people or opening people's eyes more, to not be judgmental and to not be so hateful towards each other. Let's just, if there was more self-acceptance and more acceptance of others, no matter their gender, no matter their race, even if you in your mind have an issue, just don't say anything. Don't say anything. Maybe you need to look at what's going on inside of you.
Yeah.
Not projecting what's bothering you out there. Because again, we're all the same. Everybody's equul in my mind. Yeah. Everybody. So,
and I do want to say, because I was watching the music video, and which I loved, by the way. And you really are expressing yourself through fashion as well. And a lot of the things that you were wearing reminded me of things that Harry Styles has worn and gotten some heat on. Like I don't know. I'm sure you're aware of the thing. Like he wore a dress on the cover of that magazine, and people had things to say. And it's just like, in my mind, I'm like, what's it to you?
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, first of all, I support Harry 1,000%. Good for you.
Yeah.
You can go as far back as David Bowie, as far back as Elton John, as far back as the Culture Club. Now look, different time. People were a little more free and I would say much more open-minded. And then it slowly started to become this closed-mindedness. And only now I feel people are finally starting to come out of their shell and say, enough is enough. This is who I am. I'm happy with who I am. You don't define me.
Yeah.
I define me. And, look, people have seen me. I wore a dress at my wedding. I've worn nail polish for over 20 years. I have no shame in saying I put on makeup every morning when I wake up before I go out of the house. I have no shame in saying that because that's who I am.
Right.
And I'm comfortable with that. And, if you wear a dress, so what? That doesn't define you. What defines you is what's inside of you.
Yeah. But it goes back to what you were saying. It's just like, if you don't like that he's wearing a dress, then who cares? Like, don't say anything. Who cares? What's it to you? He's not doing you any harm. I think that's like the biggest thing is like everybody just kind of jumps on to these things. And it's just like, let everybody just express themselves how they want. And I also love, you said that you've been wearing nail polish for 20 years and now you have your own nail polish line. And I love that because, you associate nail polish with women. And I love that you have your own line.
Well, look, I was inspired by my beautiful kids. Like, we have what we call in this household daddy-daughter date night or daddy-daughter day dates. And we, being a dad who's got girls, both my girls are dancers, they're singers, they love to perform, they love sports, they love all of it. But at the end of the day, when we go on a daddy-daughter date, where do they want to go? They want to go get their nails done like their dad. Uh-huh. So we go and we get our manicure, pedicure, and and that's become our thing. And at the same time, like I said, when you think of nail polish from back in the 90s on guys, it was all the grunge, it was rock.
Right.
There wasn't a lot happening in the pop world. And I was just, one day I was like, you know what? I like that look. I'm gonna give it a try. And it's become a part of me. It's a way, it's just an extension of me as an artist. And I'm comfortable with it. I think it's really cute that I get a lot of fans going, man, your nails look better than mine. A lot of female fans are like, dude, your nails look better than mine. That sucks. But, I take pride in hopefully my nails looking good. I've gotten pretty good at doing it myself too.
Wow. That is a true skill. Cause I remember when the pandemic first started and we were just like super locked down. And I get my nails done every 2 weeks. And so I was like, trying to paint my own nails literally looked like a kindergartner was painting.
I can do my left hand better because I am right-handed.
Yeah.
Now I've gotten good with my left hand doing my right. Because that
Wow.
was always like, oh my God, I was like up in the middle of my finger. I'm like, oh, this is not okay.
Yeah.
I've gotten much better.
And then in the music video, it shows you blowing out a cake with a candle with the number one on it, and that was really important and special for you, right?
Yes. That is a symbol for celebrating 1 year of constant sobriety, with no relapse, no faltering. And there's also another Easter egg in the video, which I'm actually surprised people haven't picked up on, but I will say it now. So when people go back to watch the video, they can see it. But
Okay.
in the kitchen, briefly, when you see it's a solo shot of the beautiful, beautiful Carmen dancing to the song in there. On the refrigerator is a series of numbers that are all like there's no lines in between. It's all numbers. That is my sobriety date, which is December 8th of last year. So we threw that in there as well, besides the 1 year number for the cake. So yeah,
Very, very Taylor Swift of you. Love to see it.
trying to plant some little Easter eggs. My directing partner Renee Elizondo, him and I have been directing videos since my first solo video back in the country world, to the Backstreet Boys Chances video that we both co-directed. We like to think like that like you said, very Taylor Swift, to plant these little Easter eggs and just see, because look, our fans, they're very, very clever. They pick up on everything. So
Yeah.
I think it's a fun little,
It's so fun. Speaking
intern.
as like a fan, it's so fun. It's super, super fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I do want to, I feel like when the pandemic hit, you guys were on tour as the Backstreet Boys, right?
We were in Brazil. We had one final show left, which would have been in Sao Paulo, Brazil. We were in Rio at the time, and we had a day off, which would have been a travel day to Sao Paulo. We stayed back in Rio because we were waiting for the government to basically make the final call. We almost weren't able to do our show in Rio, but they let us do it also at a stadium. But then things really started to pick up, and the spread started to kind of go a little out of control. So they made the call to postpone it until a undisclosed date that we don't know yet, but we are going to go back for sure. We owe that to our amazing fans down in Brazil. So we literally got home 3 days later, the lockdown started.
Yeah.
So otherwise we probably would have been stuck in Brazil for a month or 2 months. Who even knows? I mean, some of the borders are now just opening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, could have been there for a year, which would have been insane.
Yeah. Well, that's so wild.
Uh,
Is there any talk about doing anything more together? Like, I know you guys had that residency in Vegas. Are you planning on doing it again?
we have definitely talked about going back to Vegas. If it works out timing wise, our 30th anniversary is only 2 years away.
That is
We
so
just celebrated our 28th
wild.
anniversary. I know. We just celebrated 28. So that would be a good time for us to go back. We are about to go in the studio to finally make our first ever Mind Blown Christmas album.
Cool.
It's hard to believe we've never had a Christmas album in 28 years. Never. We've had 2 Christmas singles. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yes, so we are going in the studio actually this month, and it'll be the first time that we've seen each other in a year and a half almost. So
That's awesome.
it's gonna be great.
That's awesome. I mean, I just, I adore you. I adore you all as a group. I adore you as an individual, and just happy to support everything that you guys are doing. I was interviewing this girl who I think she's like 22, and I was like talking to her. We were talking about the posters that we had up on our walls when we were like younger. And I was like telling her that I had the Backstreet Boys up on my walls, and I used to like pretend kissing on them. And she literally looked at me like I was from a different planet. I was like, don't knock it till you try it.
I did it myself with Paul Abdul. Okay. Paul Abdul was my first crush. I was the head of her fan club in Florida, let's just say. And oh yeah, I used to make out with her poster, and we actually one of our first times doing the Tonight Show back when Jay Leno was the host. Paula was on to promote American Idol, and my mom came because it was also my 21st birthday, and it was a big thing. And sure enough, my mom's like, Paula, my son is your biggest fan. And I'm like, oh, Mom, Jesus, shut up. You're embarrassing me. But oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that's funny that like you get embarrassed, like your parents can embarrass you too, you know?
Oh, look. Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to embarrass me, but my mom and my kids, those are the three women in my life that can embarrass me because kids have no filter.
Right.
You know, if you by accident break wind at the food store, they're going to call you out on it gladly in public. So you're like, good. Oh, no, it wasn't me. It was that guy. You know,
it was a mouse. Did you see that mouse? Wow, weird.
A little mouse on a Harley. What are y'all talking about? No, kids have no filter. Kids, especially mine will just call me out, and I love it.
I love it. That is so funny. Okay. Well, thank you. Seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. Everybody, you can check out AJ single. It's called Love Song Love. It's out now. You can check out the video. It's out now. You also have a podcast called Pretty Messed Up that is available wherever you get your podcasts. What else do you have coming up?
Wow. Obviously we have the Ava Dean line. The nail polish is out. We're going to be coming out with our spring summer line of colors, as well as I am launching around Father's Day a golf clothing line. It is called GOAT, which stands for Golf Over All Things. So I'm a huge golfer, and this has been something I've been passionate about for years now, and it's finally happening. So yeah, I mean, and so much more coming from me.
Yeah, it's never too early to shop for your dad for Father's Day because it really creeps up on you.
It does.
Yeah.
So Mother's Day's first. Let's not forget that.
Correct.
Month. Don't forget, guys.
Correct. Yes. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to a Backstreet Boys Christmas album in the future.
Yes. Finally, a Backstreet Boys Christmas album. And I just want to say again, thank you guys for giving me this amazing platform to kickstart this amazing album, the EP, the single, and for just being so just amazingly supportive. I think this is an amazing record. I think this is the summer jam. So thank you guys. Yeah, it's
definitely a feel good song for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, AJ.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah.